Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Motivational Monday. I am your host, Jackie O. And tonight I have the absolutely fabulous and beautiful Karen Howard Lee. How are you tonight, Karen?
I'm good, Jackie. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful. We are getting ready to get started. We're going to get shared here on some different pages and platforms. So give me one moment. Okay, I'm all shared. Are you?
Okay. Let's see. Do I share it now? Only me? Is that the one I choose?
You can do public.
Okay.
Yep. So when you hit share, and it'll say maybe to your news feed or public.
Huh. It's giving, it says share only me.
Okay, let's see here if I can do it from my end for you. I hope you guys have had a fabulous day while we are getting all set up here. Um, Today is Monday. It is a brand new week. And so, you know what happens when you have a brand new week? You have new opportunities. All right, let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to try to share this with on your page, Karen. Let me see if it'll allow me to do that. Share to a page. Well, yeah, it's not going to allow me to share to your page. So let's
Okay,
see.
I think it's going.
You want to keep? Okay. I was going to say if you can just at the bottom. So if you at the bottom of your screen, if you just see you see share, but what it's telling you is to share public. Is that correct?
My option says share now, only me, share your story, share, send in messenger.
Okay. Go ahead and send to only me.
Okay.
And then and when you do that, can you go to your page and change your setting at the top to where it'll say friends and not just you once you see it on your page?
Okay.
Y'all, this is what happens when you are live. Hey, we're all learning and we're moving with technology and we're doing it gracefully. Gracefully is what I say. So, yes, thank you so much for y'all bearing with us. We just want to make sure that Karen gets this shared on her page so that
Yeah,
we.
I think it's going. It looks like it's on my page.
Okay,
All right.
great.
So
So, yes, thumbs up, y'all. So, again, welcome to Motivational Monday. I am your host, Jackie, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Motivational Monday, as we have said many, many times before, this is a space that is created for women, and we have some men that join us, but for women, and we promote being healthy and just being well physically and mentally. And so we bring in different speakers and different people that are experts in their field to share different topics with you. And our main goal is when you finish watching a Motivational Monday, is that you are called to what? Action. We want you to be called to action. Whatever that action is, that you will get some fire up underneath you, put your foot on the gas, and hit go. So that is what our Motivational Mondays are all about. It is motivation to get you to go to the next level. So tonight I have a very special guest with me. I met Karen, I believe it's been a couple of years now, 2 to 3 years or so. We were actually co-workers in Austin. She is now in the San Antonio, Texas area. And Karen was just amazing in her position that she was in. We miss her so much, so much.
you guys too.
Yes, when she told us she was getting married, we were like, okay. So, and then she said she was moving. We were like, oh my gosh. that we were very, very happy for her. And like I said earlier, Karen has such an amazing spirit and is on the inside, so naturally it is going to flow from the outside. She is the founder of an amazing organization called iGrow Girls. I absolutely love her motto, and she is all about encouraging girls for them to know who they are, to know their worth. And she believes that it is easier to raise healthy girls than to repair broken women. That is a really powerful statement. Again, I want to welcome Karen to our show. Karen, welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Jackie. I'm super
Yes,
excited to be here. And thank you for all the kind words and right back at you. I think you're amazing as well. I mentioned to you before we actually got online that I am so pleased to see you doing so well. And I'm amazed to see how many balls you keep in the air. Like you said, you're still working
yes,
at Grace, where we met several years ago. You're doing the Jacquie O project. You have a line of beauty and cosmetic products, and you're selling jewelry, and you're still a mom. So
girl.
you're doing it.
Pray for me. Just keep praying for me.
I shall. I shall. So, yeah, anyway, I'm happy to connect with you here on your show for Motivational Monday. And I hope that everybody's watching will be motivated and will get something of value out of whatever we have to talk about tonight.
Absolutely. And I do believe that they will. So, Karen, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your book, because you're an author, you are a facilitator, you're a communicator. I mean, you're all types of things yourself. So, tell us a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, thank you. Well, I do have a book. It's called It's Good for a Girl to Know Who She Is. And that idea came about way back in 2008. I am a mom as well. I have two daughters. And when they were middle school age, I had the opportunity to stay home a lot with my kids. I worked at some points during the time they were growing up, and then there are some times when I was able to stay home. And so I was very involved in volunteering at their school and driving for field trips and chaperoning parties and things like that. And so when they were in middle school, I was around them and their friends a lot, and I would listen to the conversations. And even though at the time my first husband and I paid a lot of attention to the things they listened to, the programs they watched on TV, and we even had them enrolled in Christian school, just to sort of uh, buffer them from outside influences and keep tabs on what was entering their minds and their thoughts and what they were hearing and seeing. I noticed that they were still getting caught up in the inertia of what everybody else thought was cool, or what you should do, or how you should be, or how you should look. And it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't coming from them. And so I decided at that point that I wanted them to be able to ask themselves, what do I like? You know, do I like this music? Do I like this style of clothing? Do I like this food? And just be true to yourself, true to themselves, and learn that it's fine for me to choose what I like, and it's good for her to choose what she likes. And we can, we can both do what we like, and it's okay. So I looked for a tool that would help me do that. I looked in Christian bookstores, I looked in secular bookstores, and I wanted it to be fun and engaging, but I couldn't find anything. And so I just wrote one. Being a writer and having that background, I decided I would write something, and it would be exactly what I needed. And so with my daughter's help, I wrote the book and asked, what do you think about this? Is this fun? And we'd go through it, and it would be fun. And at the time, I completed it, and it was a Bible study. So the first half of the book asked her asked any girl that would do it what she thought about the way she looked. She would first take a look at herself physically, and then we talk about what she thought, her personality, and the things that she liked, her favorite seasons. And girls,
Mhm.
like everybody else, enjoy talking about themselves and answering questions. And
Mhm.
so at that time, I also, like I said, made it a Bible study. So when we finished the first half, where we discovered her thoughts and what she thought about her appearance, then the second half, we talked about, well, what does God say about you? Because I think first you have to determine what you think and then compare it to what he says,
Yeah.
and then you bring into line what you think with what he says.
Yeah.
And so that was what we did, and they enjoyed it. And thankfully I had the opportunity to turn it into a workshop, which I was able to teach at my church in California. And it
Mhm.
was a mother-daughter workshop, and like myself, other moms saw the same thing. And when we publicized it, or opened it up at the church, it was very well received. And I was thrilled to have moms and their tween daughters come through. We were doing it for girls in the 3rd through 5th grade, and they would take it as a team. And like me and you, a lot of moms had 2 daughters that were only maybe 2 years apart. And so that was fun too. I had moms come in and do it with both their daughters or one of their daughters. And one of the greatest compliments was to have a mom leave and say, I didn't know that my daughter thought like this, or I didn't know she was thinking this. And, the truth is, we can tell our kids things, but if we were to ask them to repeat to us, now, what do you think I said?
Mhm.
What they give us back is not what we thought we were communicating.
Mhm.
And so it's very important to establish that communication early on, because for girls, we want, as their moms, to be their friends and their coach and their confidant and their counselor, because there was a Zumbini class. It's like a Zumba class for moms and their infants. And one of their taglines was that the first connection a child makes is with their mom. The child's listening to your heartbeat, and she or he eats what you eat, and they feel what you feel, and they go where you go. So we're their first teachers. And it would be great to continue that, because nobody's going to love your child the way you do.
That's right.
And so that's where that started. Fast forward, I did continue to teach the class even after my daughters got older and went off to college. But fast forward to 2015, and my first marriage ended, and I left California and came to Austin, Texas. Didn't know a soul, didn't have a job. I just knew I had to leave California. And Austin checked all the boxes on my list. My then adult daughters and I did a recon trip there, and we loved it. And so that's where I moved. And I did work at Grace for a while. But, I determined that at this point in my life, this was a passion of mine. And so over 50, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So this was a passion, and I decided I wanted to make a living doing this. And so I took the plunge and established iGrowGirl. I rewrote the book to be called "It's Good for a Girl to Know Who She Is," and it's no longer a Bible study. The principles are still there, but I realized that there are some moms who may not believe what I believe. They don't share my faith, but they still love their daughters. And I would love to reach out to them, and I have, and include them in the workshops that we do from our workbook. We have workshops and other classes, and I do speaking engagements, and just share those principles. And I'm enjoying it and loving it, and it's well received, and I couldn't ask for more.
Wow, that is amazing to hear your journey. And I really like how you created this path and this journey for you because you saw the need. There was a need. There was nothing out there that you saw for you and your daughters. And so you created something for that.
Yeah. And, you know, my husband and I, like you said, when I was living in Austin, I did meet my current husband, Barry. He lived here in San Antonio. And so we met and dated for a short time. But, you know, at our age, when you know, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So after dating for 8 months, we decided to get married. We did. And I moved here in 2018 and, you know, started rebuilding my business. But I said that to say that Barry and I often listen to a podcast called How I Built This. And it is amazing. If you have uh, anyone with an entrepreneurial spirit listening, I highly recommend that you listen to the podcast. It's How I Built This with Guy Raz. And the most amazing stories of how these companies that have now become household names, how they started from nothing, Wayfair Furniture, Airbnb, Instagram, and just so many others, Southwest Airlines. These were people who had an idea or had a passion. I'm sorry?
I think Uber was one of those too that they just
Uber's
started.
on the list.
Yes.
Yeah, Uber's on the list. So many, you know, you would be surprised. They had a vision, they saw a need, and they went to fill it. And you know, along the way, they had so many difficulties and challenges, but they pushed through it. And I heard you talk about last week pushing through it, and
Yes.
that's yeah, you have to do that to get to the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. You have to push through it and you have to take the leap of faith, like what you said. You have to step out into the deep. And I think that that is something I call it stepping out to the deep because anytime you take that leap of faith, you're stepping out into some deep water, some, you know, uncharted territories here. And so I think that when you do that, that it shows your faith. It shows that you do have faith and you do believe in your dream and in your vision to, you know, to move it forward. And so that's what I really like about your story and all the other stories of how people they did that. They took that leap of faith. And so now you're doing it full time, teaching girls. And the best thing I like about your story and what you're doing is how you're teaching, even though it's no longer a Bible study, but you're still teaching how does God see you? Because, you know, we try to fit in, like you said, to with society and so forth, but how does God see us? Because he told us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are
yeah,
made in his image.
yeah.
So we are so worthy, you know, like I don't know, it's just awesome. And I teach my girls that too here, you know, they listen, listen, as I be telling them, y'all are so worthy. And Layla, she says this all the time, you know, what did she say? I'm worthy and add tax to it or something. And she says, you know,
Worthy plus some, huh?
yeah, yeah, I'm worthy plus some and add the tax. I don't remember exactly how she says it, but yeah.
Well, you know, we are made to create, you know,
Yeah.
we have that God-given talent and imagination and all the tools, I think, that we need. And when we see something that, if we see there's a need and we have an idea to fill it, or even just to create something for ourselves. You know, not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur,
Correct.
but you know, I think it's so healthy for us to be creative in some way, whether it's creating a special meal or not even a fancy meal, but something that you can appreciate and feel accomplished after you've done it. Maybe you want to bake a loaf of bread. That's a big
Yeah.
deal to you, you know, or some people create with their artistry. They want to paint. Or like, I know you featured Tammy on one of your shows
Yeah.
who used to work with us, and she's making furniture in her garage. How
Oh,
cool is that, right?
oh,
So,
like, girl,
you
I
know,
need you to make me something.
but it's amazing the talent and gifts that we've been given. And I think we all have something. And even, you know, techie people who may not know how to write a story, Um, but uh, they create spreadsheets. They create these computers and programs that we use to make life so much easier.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to talk about the 3 C's, and I think I mentioned it to you
Yeah.
before. First, you create. You know, we're given this ability to create things, and so whatever we envision, we should pursue it and try to do it. And then to commit, you know, you start out creating, and the next step is to commit to it until you get to the end, you know. And that's one of um, the characteristics that all of these people that are featured on that podcast I told you about, that's one of the correct characteristics they have. They commit to it and they're going to go for it. Now, I will say this: balance is one of my favorite words in the English language. And so there has to be balance. And so if you commit to something and you start down the path and you find out like, oh, this is not the path for me, then it's okay to reroute and take a different path as long as you're moving forward.
Yes.
You know, Barry and I were talking just before I came on about a couple we know, because he's into real estate investment. And one of the couples that inspired us talked about how they started out investing in real estate and lost $50,000 on their first deal
Mhm.
and had to leave their home and move in with their parents. But they felt that this was their path that they wanted to be on. So right now they're very successful,
Mhm.
but you know, they had to get past that mistake.
Right.
And so I think the third C is to connect, because now they are speaking to other investors who are just starting out and saying, hey, don't make the mistake we made, you know. And so we want to create and commit and connect, because when we connect, we teach and we learn. You
Yes.
know, we offer support and we receive support. And you know, it's a circle. We need each other. We're spiritual and emotional beings, and I think that's how we grow, you know, connecting.
Yeah.
And so while we're doing all that, you know, whatever it is we're creating, whether it's a business or a project, it's like having a baby, you know. And as you go along in that process, you change and grow, and so does your baby. And you know, even once you give birth to this project or this baby, whether it's a business or whatever, you don't just drop it and move on. You nurture it and you make it grow and you grow with it.
Yeah.
And then at some point, hopefully it's self-sustaining. But if not, you know, you just continue to nurture it and love it and care for it.
Yeah, that's true. And I like what you said too. Like you have so many great points. And we have comments on here.
Oh, good, because I'm like I can't multitask here. I'm trying to look at you. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so Yvonne is saying this is so good. We have thumbs up. Like yes, it's really good. And we have some hearts here and
Oh, my
likes.
goodness.
So yes. But one thing I really like what you said, and like I like everything, but was the growth. Because as we're growing and we're nurturing, we're also growing and we might go a different direction, right? But it doesn't mean that we should stop. We should
Right.
just keep moving, like what you said, because we're forever evolving. Like both of us are in our 50s, and look, we're still learning and we're still growing. And
Yes.
so you're always growing, and you just have to grow with it and stay committed. And I
Yes.
really like that, to be committed and to stay consistent and persistent
Ooh,
with
I like
what
that.
you are doing.
Yeah, thank you. I like that. And you know, I can't see the comments, but if anybody is watching, and this is a C day, we're talking about C words, and you
Yes.
just gave us another one. So if anybody out there has some C words that are positive that they want to add to the list, go right ahead, because I'm going to add one too. And it is the foundation for those three, you know, whether you create, when you create, and then commit, and then connect,
Mhm.
all of those take courage. you know?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we come up with these ideas and they're fabulous ideas in our head, but
Yes.
then we're afraid that somebody may not like it, or and we talk ourselves out of it, and so we don't go on and create it. And then we're afraid to commit because it's going to take so much time and energy.
Yeah.
But anything worthwhile takes time and energy. And once you start pushing through it, you get so much more than what you put into it. And connection, that some of us are afraid of connection as well, because we're afraid of rejection. We're afraid that our idea might not be accepted, or we might not be accepted. And I'll be honest with you, the reality is, there are some drawbacks in all three of those. You create something and it falls flat the first time, but you do it again, you're going to have more ideas. You commit and then you put your time and energy into something that didn't work, but you learned from it, right? You connect and somebody ghosts you. You thought that they were in your corner and then you never hear from them again, or maybe you do make that connection, personal or professional, and it falls through or something changes. But it all comes together to make us who we are. All of those experiences, good and bad.
Yes. Yes. And I don't really look at them as failures when we do go down that path. I think that
Mhm.
they're all learning lessons. They're all
Right.
opportunities for us to learn from something. Oh, yes.
Right.
Denise said, wow, such a wealth of knowledge. And Barry, I believe, is that your husband, Barry?
That's my husband.
Well, hey, Mr. Husband. He said
Hey.
confidence. So,
Yes, I like those. I like them both. Awesome. Those are
yes,
great keywords. Let's add that to the list.
yes,
And
yes.
you're,
And contribution. Okay, he said contribution. That's good. What are
yeah,
you contributing?
that's right.
To it.
You,
Yeah,
yeah, we're all contributing to each other. And we can use things from the people that we connect with, whether it's a brief connection or a long-lasting one. Um, and I just look back on all the jobs that I've had over my life. And, as much as I connect with my girls and we talk a lot and we have great communication, just recently, um, in a discussion, it came up that I had a job that they didn't know I had. And this was when they were toddlers. And they're like, we didn't know that about you. So, but there were things that I learned from that job and every job that I've had that prepared me for what I'm doing now.
yes,
And some of the jobs I didn't like, but I have to tell you, every place I've worked, I've met great people, wonderful people that I will never forget and that have made an impact on me, and that I hope I've made an impact on, because that's what it's all about. But even those jobs that I didn't enjoy, I learned things in them that I built upon, that, like I said, I use even today.
yeah, yeah. That's good that you said that, because a lot of times we have to do certain things in order to get to where we're trying to go. So we have to use certain platforms to get to, and I kind of talked about that a little bit today in opportunity. We have to, the opportunities can be right in front of us, and
Mhm.
it might not look the way we think it should look. It may not be packaged the way we think it should be packaged, but it's an opportunity, and that will take us to the next step. And I'm the same with you. I've had jobs that I didn't too much care for, but at each one of them, I've learned something, and I've learned it whether I'm using it with Motivational Monday or whatever that I'm doing in my life, personal or and professional. I've been able to take bits and pieces and add it.
Absolutely.
So that was a very, very good nugget. We have some more C words. Constructive criticism, girl. Now that's a
Oh,
good
yeah.
one, because some of us can't take constructive criticism.
Right. And that's an excellent one.
Yeah.
And we need to be aware of the words that are being sent to us, because I've had people in my life who uh, were critical of me, um, and not in a kind way. I had someone in my life who was, I would say, a coach, but not the kind that runs alongside of you and says, you can do it, but more like a Rottweiler at your heels and said, But anyway, I took what I needed from that criticism, because there were some things that I could use. And so if we can learn to separate what is being given to us from who's giving it and the reason they're giving it,
Yes.
because their reason may be to tear you down.
Yes.
But if there is a negative truth in it that can help you, take what you can use and leave the rest,
Yes.
And so thank you very much. I'm done. I got what I need, so we're done.
I like that. I like that. Y'all listen, do we have any more C's that you guys would like to contribute, or do we have any questions? We'll take a couple of questions if you have some questions that.
Oh yeah, because I see we're out of time, but I'm
Yeah,
happy to answer any questions.
yes, we do. We want to ask any questions that you have and offer any more C's that you may have. Karen, so now you did mention earlier that you are doing your business full time.
Well, yeah, I've been hampered by COVID.
Yes.
Because because my workshops and all of our activities are in person.
Right.
I love online. I appreciate that we've been able to do so much online.
Right.
But as I was saying, I love connection too. And you just can't get the same connection in a screen the way you can in person. And so I'm anxious for us to get back to being able to meet and to connect in person. But anybody who wants to read about the programs that we offer can go to my website. It's iGrowGirl.com, iGrowGirl.com.
Okay.
And we were planning this very huge event for May of 2020, which of course was sidelined because of COVID. But it was centering around health and wellness for tween girls. And so we will continue to look forward to doing that in the future when it's safe. My book is available on my website. It's Good for a Girl to Know Who She Is. You can go to my website. You can go to Amazon.com. It's available there. And I would also love it if you guys would go on over to YouTube. We recently started a YouTube channel called Contagious Health, because we are so all about health. And, we want to help our listeners and clients achieve health in every aspect of life, physical and fitness, wellness, mental health, emotional health, relational health. We want to talk about online health. Some of us don't have a great relationship with our devices. We're too wrapped up in them. And so, we
Girl, say that again louder for the people in the back.
Do you have somebody that needs a word today?
Yes, I have somebody that needs a word today.
But yeah, all of those play into our whole health, and we want to talk about financial health. If you can start teaching your girls in third to fifth grade and, wherever they are now, about money and our relationship with money, it will be so helpful going, on in their lives rather than having to learn about it after they've made a mistake or gotten into some kind of financial quandary. So yeah, it's just the whole picture. We just started it. It's brand new. And so I'm posting episodes of what I call the balance challenge. And so, like I said, balance is a really important word, I think, in our language. And I think it would be in our interest to achieve balance in all of those areas. And it doesn't necessarily mean equal balance, but healthy balance. Correct. And we're always looking for that.
Yeah, that's good. And another C word with balance would be to create the balance. Because we have to create our balance. People be like, I got to find the balance. No, you got to create the balance.
That's right. It's up to us, for sure.
Yes. Okay, so we have a couple of more C words, and then okay. And Mr. Lee, I already put your website.
Thank you, honey.
Hey, thank you so much. So yes, I will put all of your information in the caption once we end it. And then I'll also be sending you the link so you can add it to your YouTube. We add it to our YouTube as well, or you can add it wherever you would like to do it. But
Okay.
some of the other C words we have was congratulate. That's a good one.
It is.
Continue is a good one.
Yes.
Count the cost is a good one.
Yes.
Yeah, those are all great.
Thank
See,
you guys. Those are awesome. I'm going to put those
yeah.
on my list.
Yes, put those on your list. Karen, it has been such a joy to have you with us on today.
Thank
And
you.
we'll definitely be promoting you on our end. And I know that you want to, have in person, but if we find someone that just wants to have you talk to their girls online,
I'm
hopefully
there.
you're
Yes.
there. Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because this is some really great information that you're sharing. And I believe that it would help people. It would help people, it'll help moms, and it'll help just women and people in general. Because everything that we talked about tonight, it can be applied to everyone,
That's right.
everyone and what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you again. So this is Karen, guys. She is the founder of iGrowGirl. Her website is iGrowGirl.com. And we will put that in the comment section or the caption. Is your YouTube section name the exact same thing, iGrowGirl?
No, the YouTube channel is Contagious Health.
Okay.
And you can find it under my name, Karen Howard Lee.
Okay.
Because you know what, Jacquie, I have to say this for our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that health is contagious and that healthy people inspire other people to be healthy, right? And so once we start getting healthy, we want to get more of it and we want to share it. So spread the health.
That's right. Absolutely. And also, your cousin Denise wanted me to tell you that she is on watching.
Thank you, Denise. I saw her message come up.
Yes, she's giving some good C words on here. So
thank you. Thank you, cuz.
all right, guys. Well, thank you again so much for being here and for watching. And please share this information with others. Share this page and this video that we just did, because this was some very great information that was shared on tonight. And we want other people to hear what Karen had to say, because she shared some very valuable nuggets. And I know that someone was impacted. I believe everyone should have been impacted, because I learned something, and I think all of us should have learned something on tonight. So again, Karen, thank you so much for being here with us. And we will see you guys on next week for Motivational Monday. Next week, y'all, we have a young marketing director all the way from the Philippines. She will be joining us from the Philippines, and she is going to be on, and I cannot wait to chat with her. And we're going to be talking about some marketing things. So we hope that you join us on next week. Oh, okay, Layla. Oh, my daughter Layla's watching. She says amazing information. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Layla, for watching.
Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Jacquie. I'm so happy to be here. So glad that it was useful, and I'm looking forward to seeing next week too.
Yes, next week. Oh, okay. Mr. Green just hopped on. Okay, girl, we keep getting the conversations. Shirley Lucas, she
My
said,
mom. That's your
mom. Well, hey, mom. She said, what a great conversation. Oh, wow. Thank you guys so much. Yes, Karen, you're such a doll.
Thank you, love. So are you.
Awesome. All right.
All
So we'll see you guys on next week. Thank you.
Right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.